Mahayana Buddhism is the largest Buddhist sect in the world, and its beliefs and practices are what most non-adherents recognize as Buddhism in the modern era. It developed as a school of thought sometime after 383 BCE, possibly from the earlier school known as Mahasanghika, though that claim has been challenged. Paragraph. Mahasanghika, Great Congregation, was an early Buddhist school that developed after the Second Buddhist Council of 383 BCE, when the Sthavaraveda school, sect of the elders or teaching of the elders, broke away from the Buddhist community over doctrinal differences. This early schism led to others and the development of many different Buddhist schools, of which Mahasanghika was only one. Paragraph. Mahasanghika, claiming to represent the majority of Buddhists, as its name suggests, was thought by 19th century scholars to have eventually become Mahayana, the great vehicle, but modern scholars contend that this is incorrect, as evidence suggests Mahayana existed alongside Mahasanghika and was supported and encouraged by that school. How and why Mahayana Buddhism developed is a question still debated by scholars and Buddhist theologians. Paragraph. Vajrayana is a form of Mahayana Buddhism that originated in northern India around the 5th century CE, took root in Tibet in the 7th and 8th centuries, and then spread across the Himalayan region. It is widely known as Tibetan Buddhism, though Tantric Buddhism is also found in Japan, in the Shingon and Tendai traditions. Vajrayana takes its name from Vajra, Sanskrit for diamond or thunderbolt, suggesting the power of its methods. Paragraph. Although Vajrayana shares with the Mahayana schools generally the view that we are already perfected and can awaken in a single lifetime, Vajrayana considers itself the fastest way to enlightenment. Its canon consists of texts known as the Kangyur, sutras and tantras considered to be the words of the Buddha, and the Tenjayur, commentaries. Paragraph. Vajrayana, like Mahayana, makes no distinction between samsara and nirvana. Passions and aversions alike are embraced as skillful means to awakening. Though Vajrayana upholds the Mahayana Bodhisattva ideal, its pantheon of celestial beings is more extensive, including a wealth of fierce protector deities and dakinas, female deities. Deity yoga, whereby a student takes on the identity of a chosen deity who represents enlightened qualities, is a central practice, guided by the guru, or lama, the master who initiates the student into esoteric practices. Ritual is key, including repetition of mantras, sacred syllables and verses, visualization of mandalas, sacred diagrams, sacred hand gestures, mudras, and prostrations. Engandro, preliminaries, are prerequisites for higher tantric practices. The highest practices involve the symbolic union of the feminine, wisdom, and masculine, compassion, principles. Tantric practices are largely kept secret, to preserve the sanctity of the teachings and protect practitioners from energies they have not yet been trained to handle. Paragraph. Of the four main schools of Tibetan Buddhism, the oldest is the Nyingma, whose founder is held to be the 8th century Indian master Padmasambhava, also known as Guru Rinpoche. Revered as the second Buddha, he is said to have hidden treasure texts, termas, to be discovered later both physically and in the mind streams of Tertans, or sacred masters. The Sakya school, headed by the Sakya Trizin, a hereditary title, is closely associated with the Hevahara Tantra, a text on non-dualism, symbolized by the sacred union of the deity Hevahara and his consort. The Kagyu school traces its origins and practices to the Indian yogi Tilapa, the master Naropa, the translator Marpa, and his disciple Milarepa, Tibet's poet saint. The Kagyu school introduced the Tulku system, the practice of recognizing reincarnations of great masters, thus continuing their lineages. The Gelag, the newest of the major Vajrayana schools, is a monastic sect incorporating elements of earlier schools. Its most notable leader is the Dalai Lama. Paragraph. Hinayana. Of the sects that arose after the Buddha's death, what we now call Theravada, the way of the elders, is the sole surviving strand. As the oldest of the three main Buddhist traditions, it is the one most closely associated with the teachings of the historical Buddha. The school is rooted in the Tipitaka, Sanskrit, Tripitaka, the three baskets, three collections of texts. Collected in the Tipitaka are some of the earliest known Buddhist texts, the suttas, Sanskrit, sutras, accounts of hundreds of oral teachings given by the Buddha and his senior disciples, the Vinaya, rules of the monastic order, and the Abhidhamma, Sanskrit, Abhidharma, later scholarly commentaries on the teachings. Together they form the Pali Canon, a collection of foundational texts that comprise the doctrinal basis of Theravada. Paragraph. Theravada rests on core Buddhist teachings including the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path to Enlightenment, the Three Jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and concepts such as impermanence, non-self, karma, rebirth, and dependent origination, the co-arising of phenomena, along with ethical precepts and the meditation practices of samatha, calm abiding, and vipassana, insight. Paragraph. Although the Buddha set out ethical guidelines for lay practitioners, Theravada is essentially a monastic tradition, emphasizing vows of renunciation and self-purification. For the Theravadan, the spiritual ideal is the arahant, Sanskrit, arhat, or accomplished one, who through solitary effort attains nirvana, liberation from the suffering of cyclic existence that marks samsara, or worldly life. In classical Theravada, a layperson could become a stream enterer, the first of four levels of attainment on the path to enlightenment. But the disciplined life of a monastic was deemed essential to reach the highest level. A non-returner like the Buddha, whose final nirvana experienced at his death freed him from rebirth. Theravada has sometimes been called Southern Buddhism. From its origins in northern India, it fanned out across southern Asia and today remains the predominant form of Buddhism practiced in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos, and it is also practiced in Europe, the Americas, and beyond.